Hi kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today, I want to talk about the Benchmade Bugout for the last time before I ship this guy out. So, one thing that always comes to mind is that, is this Bugout worth it? Because in this model, which is the Ranger Green with the coating here, the grey coating, it's 148 USD. And the standard one with the blue handles and then the satin finish, it's 131 USD. And that, to be honest, is a pretty steep price for S30V, a little bit of liners, up to like an inch or so of liners, and then you have this kind of waffle plastic scales that you have here. So I want to talk about or discuss about, is the Benchmade Bugout overpriced? And the best way to do this, by my reckoning, is to compare it with knives that have similar features and look at the pricing of those features. So as with my regular review, we're going to start off with the blade. The blade here is S30V. This is the coated one, which has a nice coating. It's nice and matte, but after a lot of cardboard cutting, it kind of has polished up a little bit. And then the other one is with just clean satin finish blade. And the clean satin finish one is about 131 USD. Now, comparing it with what else is there out there, well, let's look at the Sage 5 Lightweight from Spyderco. That is also using S30V, and that is coming in at $122 US. So already cheaper than this guy. We can go down a little bit further down to like $100. We can find a lot of delicas, like spring run delicas in S30V, $100 to $110. You can definitely get this blade steel at this price. On the flip side, you can also get S30V on much more higher end knives, like the Capara uses S30V. So you really get this huge range of about $100 to about $200 or $180, $190, where you get knives in S30V. So the blade steel here really falls into that sweet spot of what you can expect for S30V. Yes, with like companies like Kershaw's, and you can even get S35 VNs for like under $100, but those are quite rare and they kind of are sprint runs. So in terms of the blade steel, it's very much in the price category. Now let's talk about something else that I actually have a lot of controversial opinions about, the axis lock, or not controversial opinion. Now the axis lock, it was patented by Benchmade. Benchmade still owns the trademark for the name, but the patent actually has expired. So now any company can go out there and use an axis lock style lock. This is a Gonzo knife. This uses a very, wow, what is that? Is that rust? No, that is, yo, what is that? Yeah, they use an extremely similar locking mechanism. In fact, near identical in terms of how it works with the Omega springs and then the sliding bar here. Now, because of the patent expiring, you can find this locking mechanism in huge varieties of price points and brands. For example, this Gonzo one is less than $20 US, and you can get it, here. You have, I think SOG, the Terminus XR, also uses a very similar locking mechanism to the axis lock. Okay, that is about 85 to 90 USD, around there last I checked. You have the Hogue Deca, which is around 140 USD, which uses 20 CV blade steel, full steel liners, and G10 handles. That is around 148 USD. This guy right here in this configuration is about 148 US dollars as well. And then there are other companies like TRM uses it. I think other small makers uses it as well. So there's really nothing special anymore about this. By contrast, we have here, where is that? The Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight, and then the compression lock is owned by Spyderco, and that makes it special because no other company right now makes compression locks. I don't think any other company can make compression locks because of the patent. But the axis lock is no longer that unique anymore. It's no longer a unique selling point. Okay, so as a result of that, paying 150 or 130 USD for specifically for the purpose of this lock kind of becomes unimportant right now because so many other companies can do it. Moving back a little bit, oh, another thing I want to mention is that I've had the Omega springs on both sides of these axis lock break before, and I've spoken to a few other friends in the community here. They've had that same issue as well. I have replaced these are new, they're quite a bit stronger. They feel just as strong as the Gonzo ones. I've never had a Gonzo Omega spring break on me, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Next up, let's move back into the handles a little bit and the hardware. So the hardware is good. You have T10, you have T6 all around, and they're nice deep screws. They really grip onto the Torx bits quite well. Okay, and they're also designed quite well. Okay, these pins back here, these standoffs back here, actually are shouldered, so you're not screwing just a little bit into the back spaces here. The back spaces actually go into the plastic, so it's almost flush to the edge of the plastic here. So you're screwing in the entire gap of this pretty much, and that's very nice. You have T10 screws here, which are very easy to take apart. T10 screws are definitely less strippy than T6 screws. And then you have this handle material. They call this the Grivery handle material, which is another form of fancy plastic. Now, there is a knife channel out there. I believe it's called the Dutch Bushcraft Knives channel. You can check them out. It's these two Dutch guys, super funny guys. They actually took a real Benchmade Bugout and a fake one they bought off of I Wish or something like that, and they both use FRN. But I just want to state that the quality of the FRN is very different. That FRN of the fake Benchmade Bugout broke within a few baton hits. This guy, after a few baton hits, the Benchmade Bugout, it held up amazingly well. So that just shows that not only is this FRN very strong, but they made the effort to choose a handle material, FRN material, that is going to be very strong. And it's not very strong in the sense that it is completely metal, like titanium or carbon fiber. It is very strong in terms of its flexibility. This flexibility actually gives it more strength, because things that are flexible are definitely tougher. Look at steels. The harder the steel are, the more brittle they are. Now, it does only have steel liners up to here. Now, if you're the kind of person that likes more more rigidity in their handles, this might not be the knife for you. For that, you might want to choose something with full steel liners if that's your thing. But for everyday usage, for the everyday guy, like myself, lightness actually kind of takes more priority over rigidity, because lightness means that it carries more comfortably in the pocket. It may be easier to use. The balance is still fine. It's still right around where your index finger is going to be, right there. So the balance is quite fine. I quite like the balance of this knife. So there we go. It does not have full steel liners, but let's look at another brand that uses FRN really well. Let's talk about Spyderco again, another American company. This is a Spyderco Para 3 lightweight. It uses FRN as well. Also very strong and quite a bit thicker, skeletonized as well. Just like this guy, it is waffled like that. Okay. However, it is a little bit thicker and definitely a little bit stronger. There's almost no flex in these handles compared to this guy, which has a little bit more flex in that. And this guy is now $105 US. When it came out at 90 USD. Now let's compare it to something a little bit closer to its price range. We have, again, the Sage 5 Lightweight, also from Spyderco. The Sage 5 Lightweight is using FRN handles, but it has full steel liners. So you get that kind of molding ability that FRN has, which I love, the ability to mold it in any shape that you want. And then they have a very similar texture to this guy, but they also have full steel liners, and the full steel liners help gives it rigidity and gives the blade a nice platform for the washers to sit. So that is very nice. Moving to a price range that is more similar to this guy, we have the Hook Decker. The Hook Decker uses G10. Okay, this is G10, I believe. It uses G10 and it uses full steel liners, and as a result of that, it is definitely G10 is much more expensive, a little bit more expensive material than FRN, but it does have the rigidity of those full steel liners. Last but not least, moving back a little bit, we have the lanyard hole, which is very nicely designed, and the pocket clip, this mini deep carry pocket clip, which has a lot of good retention properties, and it's also very deep carry. And yeah, it just works really well. It was really stiff the first time I got it. I'm used to longer pocket clips, but these shorter pocket clips have grown on me. So in the end, I have one final point to make, which is when it comes to the Bugout, if you just look at it from a material point of view, it doesn't really add up. Yes, the blade steel is in the correct material range. Okay, Para 3 lightweights, which is about the same price as this guy, have the same S30V blade steel. You know, you have good construction, good materials chosen for the materials that they use, but the extra money goes into the design of this knife. The design of its nice aesthetic appeal, a simplistic aesthetic appeal, good lanyard hole, good pocket clip design, good hardware design that comes in all the standoffs I already mentioned. The only thing that really kind of turns off for me is the access lock. The access lock, not only does it take a little bit more effort to fidget with it, because it's not like a button lock which you just press and it unlocks, but you kind of have to do a little bit of finger gymnastics to hold it back, pull it down, and flip it down. So if you ask me, it is still overpriced. You can get a Gonzo and get 95% of the experience. You can get a Hogue Deca, you get full steel liners G10 and 20CV, which is a much more higher end blade steel. But I want to know what you guys think. Do comment below and let me know if you think the Benchmade Bugout is overpriced. That's it guys, thanks and stay ready.